Yes, we are live. Good evening, everyone. Namaste. A very warm welcome to all. So, today I wish everyone a very, very beautiful, knowledgeable, and intellectual Gita Jayanti. May this Gita Jayanti bring you enlightenment in your spiritual, professional, personal life and give you health, wealth, prosperity throughout. Uh, the history enthusiast is organizing a lecture series entitled as Gita through History, a historical, cultural, and philosophical perspective. So our first resource person on 11th December 2024, which is Gita Jayanti itself, is Dr. Shuchi Gupta, Indologist and philanthropist, Chairman ISAAC Trust India, and she is going to talk on the title Depicting Dharma, the iconography of Bhagavad Gita across time and cultures. I warmly welcome you, ma'am, to the platform of the history enthusiasts. It's our
Thank you.
privilege to have you with us.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you. Uh, it's a great honor for me to hear, and it's a very great topic. And first of all, मैं आप सभी को गीता
Uh,
जयंती की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं.
Ma'am, we will just briefly introduce you and later on you just start the lecture.
Okay. नहीं, there
Yes.
is no need. I can start.
No, ma'am, just
Introduction
two
is
seconds,
sufficient.
very
No,
briefly.
introduction is sufficient. This is sufficient. I can start if you don't mind.
No, ma'am, just to give us 2 minutes so that our
Okay.
audience will be knowing you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I also take this opportunity to welcome our honorary president, Shri Nandan Shastri ji, and all our core committee members and advisory members, all our important audience who are going to be active throughout the session, and our founder president Miss Manali Momaya. She will be joining us in the middle of the session as she is caught up with some other responsibilities. Um, so I take this opportunity to introduce our today's resource person, uh, Gupta ma'am. Dr. Shuchi Gupta is, as I already told, is Indologist and philanthropist, chairman ISAAC Trust India. She is director of the historical documentary Who Am I? Fellow Royal Asiatic Society London and honorable member of Royal Historical Society. As an Indologist, Shuchi Gupta ji strongly believes that her achievements belong to her family and the Sanatana society. It's her turn to give it back before she attains Nirvana, which is a very, very great spiritual philosophical thought of our Vedic culture too. That's why she started International Avdhesh Kumar Samaan in the loving memory of her father to promote Sanatana culture. Uh, so the first international conference held for International Avdhesh Kumar Samaan, Padma Bhushan, Grammy Awards winner Pandit Vishwa Mohan Bhatt was part of it, and it's a great privilege for the history enthusiast to have such a wonderful scholar who is not only great academician but a very kind personality by heart. Thank you so much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation. Now I give whole platform to you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can you share my PPT? Yeah. Uh, First, yeah, introduction. Next, yeah. Uh, can I start now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sure, ma'am.
Okay. Now, before the introduction, why? this day is so much importance in the Sanatan society? Because this day holds a profound significance in Hindu tradition, as it is commemorate the moment when Lord Krishna delivered the timeless teachings of Bhagavad Gita to Arjun on the battlefield of Kurukshetra more than 5,000 years ago. Today, 5161th anniversary of Gita Jayanti is marked annually on the Shukla Ekadashi of the Mrigshira month of the Hindu calendar. This Jayanti, also known as the Mokshada Ekadashi. Now, the first term here I use the Kurukshetra. What is Kurukshetra? Where is Kurukshetra? Is there any historiography or any part of the history of the Kurukshetra? Kurukshetra is present today, or this is only a mythical word? No, I will start a line by line, a sentence by sentence, the iconography and the history. I will not focus my uh, today's uh, the whole presentation is not based on the philosophical aspect of the Bhagavad Gita. My all presentation will be based on the historical aspect that can I prove on the basis of the primary sources, the archaeological sources, and the secondary sources, which based on the part of the history. Now, one term is Gita, and if I say Bhagavad Gita ji, then I want to mention a place that is Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra is a this is a mythical place? No, Kurukshetra is not a mythical place. It is in Haryana. So the whole scene and scenario is not a mythical. It's a part of the history because we have a place that is Kurukshetra that belongs to the Gita. Okay, now I will start the first aspect. I hope you will all understand that we will talk or we will discuss only on the historical aspects. Now, the second, what is Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita, a 700 script Hindu scripture, part of the Mahabharata, is Bhagavad Gita, a very simple line. But Bhagavad Gita is more than an episode recorded in the great Sanskrit poem of the Hindus. It occupies chapter 23 to 40 of book 6 of the Mahabharata, and it composed in the form of dialogue between Prince Arjun and Krishna, an avatar of the Bhagavan Vishnu. Composed approximately in the first and the second century CE, it is CE here I am talking about Common Era. It is commonly known as the Gita or Bhagavad Gita. The original Bhagavad Gita contains the rare verses, and the total number of verses in it is 745, which is part of the Bhishma Parva of the Mahabharata. A millennium ago, Abhinav Gupta includes some verses in the commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, the oldest surviving manuscript, which dated back to 1492, is held in the Bodleian Library of Oxford University, England. In ancient times, the first commentary on the Gita was written in Udayagiri caves. Now I am focusing on the archaeological aspects. In archaeological, I am only talking about the archaeology on if I'm talking about the history, then if I, there is a very thin line between the history and the story. If there is a archaeological evidence, if there is a primary sources, if there is a secondary sources, then I can take that episode as a part of the history. Otherwise, that is the part of the story. Now, Bhagavad Gita ji is part of the history or only a part of the story. Only I want to focus that this is the part of the philosophy, the part of the religion, as well as the part of the history also. Very few people are there who are focusing on the archaeological aspects, the primary aspects, and the secondary aspect. The primary aspect is Udayagiri caves, the Gupta art temples, the sculptures, the manuscripts, the palm leaves. There are so many things. Then we will focus on the ancient, the medieval, and the modern scenario. If I can focus on such as scenario, a chain by chain by chain by chain, how can Bhagavad Gita is not belong to the part of the history? Now, first, in ancient time, the first commentary of Gita was written in the Udaygiri caves in 3rd century CE. The relief sculptures depicting Vishnu, Krishna in his cosmic and earthly forms. Adi Shankaracharya was the first Acharya to treat it as the freestanding text. Subsequently, other great Acharyas such as Ramanuja, Madhava, Sridhar Swami, and other wrote commentaries on the Gita that present in the essential devotional significance. The primary purpose of the Bhagavad Gita to illuminate for all of the humanity the realization of the truth nature of the divinity. For the highest spiritual enlightenment, the Bhagavad Gita offers guidance on overcoming self doubt and fear by tapping into our inner strength and connecting with our true nature. This is the part of the philosophy. But can we find out the part of the history? Yes, because Bhagavad Gita, next slide please. Because Bhagavad Gita has five essence. What are the five essence? The Ishvara, the Jeev, the Prakriti, Kala, and the Karma. The Ishvara, Parampita Parameshwara. Jeev, the living beings. The Prakriti, the Mother Nature. The Kal, the time. The Karma, our activities. Gita teaches by integrating mindfulness into our daily lives, we can enhance our awareness, manage our emotions, and cultivate a deep sense of inner harmony. Thus, the Bhagavad Gita offers timeless wisdom that transcends culture and religious boundaries. Next, what are the historical aspects of the Bhagavad Gita? How we can say the Bhagavad Gita is a part of the historical entity. The Bhagavad Gita is a part of the ancient Indian epic, the Mahabharata, and believed to have been composed on the first second century. The historical aspect of the Bhagavad Gita is dialogue between Prince Arjun and Krishna, an avatar of Hindu deity Vishnu, and an episode on the sixth century of the Mahabharata. The Mahabharata is a story about feuding royal families, the Pandav and the Kauravas. Now, I want to especially mention one place, a archaeological site that is Sinoli. If anybody knows about the Senoli, whole scene and scenario is changed after the Senoli excavation because we found chariot there, we found female warriors there, we found arms there, we found shield there, we found um, swords there. And this is the place, Senoli, that belongs to the a warrior clan. And Meerut, from where I belong to, surprisingly, this whole area, the Ganga Yamuna belt, the Meerut region belt, belongs to the Ramayana uh, circuit as well as the Mahabharat circuit. So I'm not talking about the philosophy. I'm not talking about the mythical books, or I'm not talking about the our religious books. I'm talking about the history. We have excavations, we have explorations here. The Sinoli site is a very important site, and that belongs to the Kurukshetra, belongs to the Bhagavad Gita ji, and Meerut region near Hastinapur belongs to the Mahabharat circuit. That is why we can't say that Bhagavad Gita is only a part of the religious and the philosophical aspect of the Sanatan Sarma. No, this is also the historical aspect of the Sanatan society. In Mahabharata, it is the story of the two royal families, the Pandav and the Kaurav, and it believed to have been composed by the uh, Maharishi Vyas around 3100 BCE. The context of the Bhagavad Gita suggests that is composed within the ethics of the war being questioned of the monastic life and became popular. The Mahabharata is 100,000 verses. The Bhagavad Gita is an influential religious text in Hinduism that encourages people to live life purity, strength, discipline, honesty, kindness, and integrity. It teaches that by the integration mindfulness into daily life, people can enhance their awareness, manage the emotions, and cultivate a sense of inner harmony. It's a brink of the great battle between the warring branch of the same family. Arjun is suddenly overwhelmed with misgiving about the justice of killing so many people, some of whom are friends and relatives, and express his comes to questions to Krishna, his chariot, a combination of bodyguard and the court historian. Krishna's own reply express the central theme of the Gita. He persuades Arjun to do his duty. To do his duty, the karmanyeva adhikaraste, ma phaleshu kadarjana. The principle of the karma, that is the whole center part of the Gita. Krishna argument incorporate many of the basic teachings of the Upanishad and texts compiled between 1000 and 100 BCE, as well as the philosophy of the Samyak Yoga, which stress a dualism between soul and matter. He argues that one can kill only body, the soul is immortal and transmigrate into another body at death. For these who have understood the true teachings, achieves moksha and nirvana, freedom from the wheel of rebirth. Krishna also resolved the tension between the Vedic injunction to sacrifice as the good karma and the late Upanishadic injunction to meditate a knowledge of jnana. The solution he provides to path of bhakti with right understanding, one need not renounce actions but merely the desire that is a calm. For the fruit of actions, acting without desire, nishkama karma. That is the theory of dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Next, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Nidhi, uh, Nidhi, next slide, please. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Now, this slide is important. That is why I'm focused. Here is the sculpture. That is a Hoysaleshwar temple, and this you are seeing the beautiful, beautiful, intricate work of the divine deity, that is Krishna. See the fruit, the intricate work of the beautiful work. This is the part of the archaeology. This is the part of the sculpture. This is the part of the Sanatan art and culture. Here is in Gupta period, 4th to 6th century, Gupta era marked as the flourish of the religious art. The Gita's theme appeared in temple carvings, particularly in Krishna's role as Arjun chariot. The relief sculpture belonged to Krishna and Arjun as a chariot, emphasizing their divine human relationship. Krishna as a Parth. Sarathi, Parth, here is Parth is a Arjuna. Sarathi, the chariot, represent divine guidance. The chariot, whose horses represents the body and the senses. The relic from the Udaygiri caves showing the Vishnu Krishna iconography linked to the cosmic order. And the second form of the historical aspect is rock cut and the cave temples from the Ajanta and Ellora. The Bhagavad Gita influenced Ajanta caves painting through episode depicting moral dilemma, and divine interventions. Art and mural were vibrant and depicting fluid, expressive human forms with intricate details. Krishna advising Arjun reflect a narrative fringe or symbolic scene. Next, it's a very iconic mural uh, that belongs to the Gita, where knowledge is indeed better than practice. Meditation is superior to knowledge. The unification of the fruit of the action is better than meditation. Peace immediately follows unification. This is the moral of the Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Today's life is a there is a glitch in everyone's life, and the Gita provide us a peace of mind through the philosophical and religious aspect. But don't forget that is the part of the Sanatan history. Next, here are some more examples of the archaeological aspects. This is the coin. You can see there is a warrior king. This is a Vasudeva Krishna. And on the coin of Bactria, 180 BCE, this is the earliest image of a Krishna. And the second prince is a Virupaksha temple depicting Bhagavad Gita scene involving Arjuna Krishna chariot. This is a very, very important UNESCO site. If UNESCO is focusing that, and if UNESCO provide us two, uh, I can say, uh, you can focus on your ancestral, your philosophical, your historical monuments that are the part of the our old and old traditions of Indian uh, historical scenes and scenario. If I am providing you the fringes, the coins, the murals, the paintings later on I will discuss on that, and all aspects are there. If then that is the part of the history. I am proving one by one point and focusing point by point, not on the basis of philosophy, not on the basis of religious values. I am focusing on the historical aspect. Next, next slide, please. Ancient iconography involves the visual and the symbolic representation of all these themes in the art, ranging from the manuscripts to mural to sculptures. During ancient times, Gita depicted were many symbolic, focusing on Krishna as a Vishnu's avatar guiding Arjuna. Their art was primary sculpture found in temples and caves. Depictions of chariot and battle scenes in Gupta era is a divine guidance. All these symbolism is in the form of many form of arts. But what is the real meaning of these symbolism? The Bhagavad Gita emphasizes the importance of the self-realization and the pursuit the knowledge as means to the attain spiritual enlightenment. It teaches the true wisdom lies in understanding of the material world and recognizing the eternal nature of the soul. By seeking knowledge and intercepting of the nature of the reality, we can recognize the eternal nature of soul. By seeking knowledge of the reality, we can transcend the cycle of the birth and death and attain a spiritual liberation. The Gita guides us on a transformative journey of self discovery, reminding us that true fulfillment comes from the connect with our divine essence. And the mindfulness and the meditation play a significant role in the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. It encourages us to cultivate a focused and tranquil mind through the practice of meditation by instilling inflation of the mind and the attaining the state of inner silence. We can connect with our higher consciousness and experience a deeper sense of peace and clarity. Gita teaches that by integrating mindfulness into our daily lives, we can enhance our awareness, managing our emotions, and cultivate a deep sense of harmony. Now, what is the basic symbolic of this iconography? Here, chariot and horses represent the human body and senses. The rain symbolizes the mind, while Krishna represents the divine wisdom. The Vishwa Rupa of the Krishna is a cosmic form of Krishna, symbolizes the omnipresence, omnipotent of the divine power. The lotus is the symbol of purity and detachment, often found in depiction of Krishna. Now, we move on the later medieval period. After ancient India, we move on the medieval period. Here we will focus on the miniature paintings. Please, next slide. Next, it's okay. Miniature painting in the medieval period, especially under the Rajput and the Pahari schools, expanded Gita iconography. These works portrayed Krishna's role as a divine teacher. Rajput art focused on the vibrant depiction, while Mughal influence added delicate detailing. During this period, painting showing Krishna revealing his Vishwarupa to Arjun, this represents the divine infinite nature and its central visual theme. And second form of the iconography is based on the manuscript form and the palm leaf form. The Bhagavad Gita was also preserved in manuscript form with illustrations. Early palm leaf manuscripts included simple line drawing, often focused on Krishna as the central figure. Bihar and Bengal, especially on the 10th or the 12th century, created illustrated manuscripts, though many are now lost. And there are stone reliefs and terracotta art, or also the terracotta panels, especially from Bengal between 6th century to 12th century, where Krishna and Arjun are sometimes depicting together in terracotta art, with Krishna is an authoritative teaching pose. Next, cross-culture dimensions. Now we will move on the later on period, the modern India. That is a cross-culture dimension is there, the colonial and the modern period. During the British colonial period, Gita themes entered the Western art and prints through translations. Raja Ravi Verma's work gave Krishna a humanized yet majestic appearance, making the Gita more related. Gravir's Verma's painting of Krishna counseling Arjun is one of the most iconic images of Gita. What are the global dimensions? The illustrated version of Gita gained the traction in Europe, blending Indian motifs with Western styles. In contemporary art, the Gita is depicting in modern format like murals, digital media, and graphic novels. Artists reinterpret the traditional themes with modern techniques. For example, Krishna and Arjun are portrayed in abstract form of some modern art galleries. Films and animations use Gita themes such as Peter Brook's Mahabharata, a digital work showing Krishna and Arjun's chariots in an cosmic landscape. Next. Oh, these are called miniature paintings. Uh, Miniature paintings, actually, they are the Pahadi form and the Mughal era form. These the both paintings belongs to the you can see the vibrant shade, but the basic themes in whole both paintings is Krishna is the center point and Arjun on the back, and Krishna is showing the path of the Arjuna. The theme is philosophical, the theme is religious, but this is the part of the history in the form of paintings. Next, the philosophical dimensions. The Gita philosophy is captured in art, especially Krishna's cosmic form and teachings on detachment. Artists often depict Krishna's scenery face a chaos representing inner peace. The duality of war and spiritual liberation is a recurring theme. If examined, this manifestation of the material world, his cosmic form, and the philosophical implications of these concepts, Krishna's symbolism can facilitate classroom discussion on philosophical ideas such as omnipresence, immanence, and the nature of the divine. What is the philosophical concept? The Bhagavad Gita explore concepts like dharma, jnana, bhakti, and the karma yoga. The text message of that one should fulfill their duty without attachment of the result of their actions. The text is set on the battlefield, and some modern Indian writers interpret this as the allegory of the struggles of human life. The universal law is said to be displayed the structure of the operate everywhere. The ethical theories, this text use the game of dice to example three prominent ethical theories: the virtue ethics, the consequences, and the deontology. The interpretation, the Bhagavad Gita is considered difficult to interpret, very, very difficult. And there are many commentaries on it, each with its own interpretation. Next slide, please. In Bali, Bhagavad Gita themes are woven into dance and shadow puppetry. In Western art, Krishna's teachings often symbolize universal spirituality rather than Hindu specific themes. The Balian shadow puppet on Krishna and Western adaptation showing Krishna in abstract art forms. The Bhagavad Gita is a synthesis of Vedic and non Vedic traditions, and it's a reunification and action by arguing that are inseparable. While following one's dharma, one should not consider oneself to be the agent of action, but attribute all one's action to God. The Bhagavad Gita, an ancient script from the Mahabharata, is more relevant today than ever, offering profound lessons for neg- navigating life's complexities. Its timeless wisdom provides practical guidance on the ethics and persuade the meaning of the fast changing world. The three themes addressing the way in which this text has been approaching by contemporary psychologists. First, the compression with modern psychology. Second, prelude the modern psychological concept. Third is potential for building well-being and resilience. In addition to these analyses, the article exposed a powerful message contained in the Gita around seeking support for mental health issue, a message that has not even widely recognized to date. Next, Bhagavad Gita remains a source of artistic inspiration across cultures. Its universal theme of duty, spirituality, and detachment ensure its relevance in both tradition and modern context. Iconography serves as the bridge between the philosophy and the visual storytelling. The union with the divinity is the central message of Bhagavad Gita. is the Atma with the ultimate reality is Brahma. The ultimate quotation of Aham Brahmasmi. मैं ही ब्रह्म हूँ. I am the Brahma. This is the union with the ultimate Parampita Parameshwar. The imaginary often reflects this through depiction of Krishna in his Vishwarupa or the cosmic form emphasizes the oneness of all existence and the ultimate goal of moksha. The Gita iconography often illustrates Krishna as the charioteer of the Arjun, symbolize divine guidance and the importance of the performing one's duty without attachment to the result. It emphasizes selfless Karma Yoga, the theory of the Karma Yoga as the path of the spiritual growth. Scenes like Krishna revealing his universal form highlight the eternal and the unchanging truth of the existence, reminding humanity of the transcendent nature of the material world and the presence of the soul in everywhere and in all the dimensions. You can see it's a 3 dimension or 4 dimension or 14 dimension, but soul is present everywhere. The Gita outline multiplied paths, the bhakti, the jnana, the karma, all in which are symbolically present in the iconography, underscoring the diversity of spiritual approaches. Next, the depiction of Krishna and Arjun on the battlefield evokes a deeply sentimental relationship of trust, devotion, and love. Krishna's role as a friend and a guide offers comfort, reassurance to devotees facing life's challenges. The battlefield of Kurukshetra symbolizes the internal struggle every individual faces. The emotional imaginary captures Arjun's despair and the Krishna calm wisdom reflecting the human journey from confusing the clarity through divine intervention. The Krishna uh, sincere and compassionate presence often accommodate by depiction of his flute, peacock feather, gentle smile evokes sentiments of the unconditional love and surrender to the divine cosmic awe and humanity. The Vishwaroop, the cosmic form, style, awe, and humility reminding devotees their small yet integral role in the grand cosmic order, fostering a sense of surrender and gratitude. And one more thing, there is a oneness of the nature and human beings. If there will be a oneness, as Krishna uh, wear peacock feather, the flute, a very gentle smile. All beings are very simple. There is no glitch, there is no complexity in Krishna's formation, or we can see in sculpture form, we can see in miniature form, we can see in Ajanta Ellora forms, we can see in Udaygiri forms, or later on in medieval forms, or in modern day scenario. Each and everywhere, a blue person has feathers, ties with nature, peacock. Fathers, he is not killing the peacock. No, 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 no. He is not for flute. He is not cutting the trees. Flute, all is the oneness of the nature. The very important aspect, the central part of the historical and um, philosophical, and there is only a center point. That is the oneness with the Paramapita Parameshwar and you. There is no line of no differentiation of Parama Brahma and between you. If you want to see him, see in yourself. The iconography of Bhagavad Gita serves as a visual and symbolic capsulization of its teaching. Spirituality, it inspires seekers to strive for liberation and align all divine will. It touches the heart with its portrayal of love, guidance, eternal truth. Together, these dimensions form the holistic framework of the understanding life's purpose in the path of inner space. And the last term and the last essence of the Gita is अंत ही आरंभ है. जहां पर अंत होगा वहीं से ही आरंभ होगा. और जिस दिन आरंभ जिस बिंदु से होगा उसी दिन से अंत आरंभ हो जाएगा. This is the continuous 360-degree cycle is the key essence of Bhagavad Gita. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Indeed, it was a wonderful lecture and mesmerized me as well with our audience. Thank you so much. Ma'am, we have a question
Ask you.
yes, ma'am. With your permission, can we take it?
Sure, sure. Why not?
Uh, our honorary president Nandan Shastri ji has asked this question. The question is, will you please tell us the historicity of miniature paintings depicting Bhagavad Gita?
Hmm. Uh, as I already mentioned, the Pahari miniature paintings and the Rajput during the medieval area period when Muslim effect and impact on the Indian subcontinent. Then, in Muslim iconography and Muslim cultural aspect, you cannot form the god. You cannot make any sculpture. You can create a dome, you can create a mosque, you can create each and everything, but you cannot create any form of god. No sculptures are uh, part of the modern society, yeah, Muslim period. In that time, uh, then Rajput and the Pahari king focus on the painting iconography. The painting iconography, the Rajput era, they uses the very bold colors, the red, the yellows, the blue, all are natural shades. Same, the Pahari art of paintings, they use natural shades, but the themes of the miniature paintings are basically on the focus on the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Uh, so all these themes focus on the positive sides of Indian Sanatan parampara. These miniature paintings where we can see Ram, Sita, and Krishna and Arjuna and the Lanka scenes and war scenes. There, if you want to say there are three dimension, no, there are no dimension. This is a plate, simple paper is there, and simple paper they use watercolors and the opaque form of the and for the show the they use the golden colors, the border of that the golden leafing with the original gold water or gold leaves. These are called miniature paintings. Miniature means chota chota. Each and everything is a miniature. That is a miniature painting. And very prominent miniature paintings are the Rajput paintings and the Pahari paintings.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Ma'am, I have a question.
हाँ, sure.
So, ma'am, can we see any iconography related to Bhagavad Gita or Krishna preaching the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna in other countries?
हाँ, बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल देखने को मिलता है, हमको बिल्कुल दिखाई देता है। मैंने जैसे आपको बाली मेंशन किया, ठीक है? अब एट प्रेज़ेंट सिनेरियो बाली है, सुमात्रा है, अंकोर वाट टेम्प अब अंकोर वाट तो यहाँ नहीं है। जावा, सुमात्रा, बोर्नियो वो भी यहाँ नहीं है, वो तो साउथ ईस्ट एशिया में है, तो वो उधर कैसे पहुँचा? ठीक है? तो इसका जो क्रेडिट है, तो होल क्रेडिट गोज़ टू द ट्रेडर्स। ट्रेडर्स उनको वहां लेकर गए थे। मैं एक चीज आपको वन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग आई वांट टू मेंशन हियर कि जो टोटल हम कहते हैं एक वाल्मीकि कृत रामायण, यू कैन इमेजिन पूरी दुनिया में, मैं नॉट मेंशनिंग इंडियन सब कॉन्टिनेंट, पूरी दुनिया में 300 रामायण है। इमेजिन क्या उनमें डिफरेंस है। उनका थीम एक ही है कि एक व्यक्ति है जो राम है, वो मूव ऑन किए नर्दन टू सर्दन, ठीक है? और उनके साथ थोड़ा-सा ग्लिच हुआ और उसके बाद उन्होंने वहाँ पर जो पूरा स्टोरी चलता है, बेसिक स्टोरी सब जगह सेम है, उसमें सिर्फ कैरेक्टर्स के नाम चेंज हो गए हैं। तो आप बाली में जाइए, आप सिंगापुर जाइए, आप मॉरिशस जाइए, आप सूरीनाम जाइए, आप मालदीव्स जाइए, हर जगह आपको मिलेगी, रामायण भी मिलेगी, उसके कैरेक्टर्स भी मिलेंगे और महाभारत भी मिलेगी आपको। आपको गीता और कृष्ण भी मिलेंगे, आपको कृष्ण और अर्जुन भी मिलेंगे पूरी दुनिया में। लेकिन उनका जो थोड़ा-थोड़ा फॉर्मेशन है, अकॉर्डिंग टू द जो वहाँ का सिनेरियो है, वो चेंज हो गया है। तो हमारे जो दोनों महाकाव्य हैं, वो पूरी दुनिया में फैले हुए हैं, बट द क्रेडिट गोज़ टू द ट्रेडर्स। साउथ ईस्ट एशिया में इंडियन सनातन परंपरा या इंडियन सनातन जो रिलीजन फैला है, वो सारा का सारा ट्रेडर्स की वजह से फैला हुआ है। तो दुनिया में के हर हिस्से में आपको कृष्ण भी मिलेंगे, आपको गीता भी मिलेंगी। बस जब आप उनकी स्टोरी और वो देखेंगे, उसमें थोड़ा-थोड़ा सा चेंज हो रखा है। बस उतना डिफरेंस है, बाकी और कोई डिफरेंस नहीं।
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for wonderfully answering all the questions. And really, it was a wonderful lecture on the occasion of Gita Jayanti. Regularly, we see Gita only with philosophical and spiritual perspective, but it was very much important for us to evaluate its historical perspective. And thank you so much for making our next generation understand it through this lecture. Thank you, ma'am.
Only one thing is, only one last I want to mention. If anybody uh, explains this, this is only a philosophical. Okay, then आप उनको पूछो गीता कहाँ पर हुई थी, गीता ये जो सारा का सारा हम सीन एंड सिनेरियो देख रहे हैं कहाँ पर है, तो वो बोलते हैं दैट इज धर्म क्षेत्र एंड कुरुक्षेत्र। ईच एंड एवरीवन मेंशन दैट द धर्म क्षेत्र एंड कुरुक्षेत्र। धर्म क्षेत्र मतलब धर्म का क्षेत्र है, and the place name is Kurukshetra. As I mentioned, starting with my Kurukshetra, is there a historical place or not? If Kurukshetra is a historical place, the whole scene and scenario of Gita is a historical. If Kurukshetra is not historical place, it's a mythical place, then whole scene and scenario, I will not argue anyone. I will go with philosophical aspects of the Gita only and only. No, but that is Dharma Kshetra. Name is Kurukshetra. That is why this whole scene is a historical significance.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Now we have come to the end of the session. Before that, I take this opportunity to announce our tomorrow's lecture on the Gita. 18th of this month, we have Good evening, everyone.
Nidhi, you are mute. Please unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. So I'll take this opportunity before coming to the end of the session. I would take this opportunity to introduce our tomorrow's lecture uh, resource person. Srinidhi S. Patty will be the resource person for tomorrow under the uh, theme of Gita through history, a historical, cultural, and philosophical perspective. Uh, the lecture tomorrow will be at 3 o'clock. So I request all the audience to join us at 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. in the afternoon, Indian Standard Time. Thank you so much. And the details, link, and other things will be shared in the group also. So now I request our honorary president Nandan Shastri ji to do the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir. Sir, you are on mute.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
So again, you have muted yourself. You have muted yourself again. Yeah. Now you
So
are audible.
we are highly impressed by the vast knowledge of Dr. Shuchi ji. हम आपके वक्तव्य से अभिभूत हो गए और and you will be glad to know that at Asian Art Museum in San Francisco, we organize an exhibition on Rama epic and Bhagavad
Wow.
Gita, uh,
Wow.
and it ran for 9 months, and we had, besides our own collection on display, borrowed collection from three museums in United Kingdom, one museum from Netherlands, and 11 museums from other parts of USA. And
Wow.
the exhibition catalog comprises of 258 pages, and there are some two articles on the Ramayana in Southeast Asia also, and the Birla Bhagavad Gita, a 19th century illustrated manuscript of Bhagavad Gita, features executive miniature paintings. I am highly impressed by that also. So thank you very much for your today's talk, and thanks to Niti for taking care right from beginning up to the end of this event. And uh, Manali is not present, but she has also designed very good invitation brochure. So thanks to her also, and especially I thank all the attendees of today's event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. So we are signing off here.